I approached to do Church Ball, which was filming out in the state of Utah. Last day of the shoot, and he said, "I've decided something. I'm gonna move out here to Utah." Awesome. They're so friendly and wonderful, and they're not treating me like Gary Coleman. They're treating me like just Gare. And I was like, "Oh." He said, "Is that okay with you?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll be there. Not a problem." So drove straight to Santa Quinn. It took me about 4 days to get out there, and I was exhausted. So I hopped out of the truck, and Gary came running out, and Shannon Price was walking out of the house behind him. She just struck me as very, very young. I was 19 years old when I met him. And I was worried whether or not she would be immature. Like, "Hey, my name's Shannon, nice to meet you." And I could just tell immediately. Cold shoulder, very standoffish, not friendly at all. Within the first day, I was already picking up on her wanting things, not wanting Gare, wanting things. I remember one night, she had been drinking beer on me. Believe it or not, she did. After an admittedly ugly night, eventually I told Gare that I think it'd be best if I go away for a little bit and let you explore this and see what it is. We always had the freedom to explore other relationships if we wanted to.
It was someone that he met, this Shannon, and I wasn't terribly concerned until I learned that she was living with him. Then I had grave concerns.
There were a couple times where we had arguments that I'm like, "Hey, you should go do this film because, we do need to pay the bills at some point."
Some of the movies that he did the last few years of his life, he didn't like. We need money. We gotta live.
I remember he would call me every single day, and he's like, he would blame me for it. And I was like, "You know what, I'm done." And I decided to divorce him.
They were divorced in 2008. And I know they got back together socially after that. I know that she continued to live at his house and eat his food and have him buy her things even after they were divorced.
We still lived together. We still stayed together. We were still together.
He had told me himself, "She's just my roommate." In the public and out and about, it was, "We're married." But behind closed doors, it was, "You're just my roommate."
There were multiple. Gary and I discussed a restraining order. He just couldn't deal with it anymore.
It was just toxic. I know the police had been there quite a few times to domestic issues. They both laid their hands on each other. Neither one of them was the innocent party.
Stroke star Gary Coleman sits in the Utah County Jail tonight. Coleman was booked into jail around 1 o'clock this afternoon after being arrested by Santa Quinn police.
Gary, what happened today?
Times as far as anything physical, yeah, there was a couple times. I mean, I slapped him a couple times. I mean, nothing major, nothing like red flag. Like, people smack each other, they hit each other. People do it. If you deny it, you're crazy. Bedridden. And I asked him, I was like, "Hey, would you mind going downstairs and just putting some pizza rolls in the microwave for me?" Then he went downstairs. I have a lot of questions and concerns about what happened in the house that day.
I was shocked when I found out he was fixing her dinner after dialysis. Because I seen how he felt after. He was weak. He was sick. And honestly, he just wanted to go take a nap.
When I heard the big loud boom, like, "Gary, Gary, Gary," and I heard nothing. I got out of bed and I went downstairs, and there he was laying down on the floor with blood around his head. And I heard nothing. I got out of bed and I went downstairs, and there he was laying down on the floor with blood around his head. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to think. So yeah, of course, that's when I called 911.
There's a lot of blood on the floor. Is he conscious? He was like bubbling at the mouth and stuff. I just can't be here with the blood. Sorry, I can't do it. I just can't. There's just blood, but I can't do anything.
I heard the 911 call. I was appalled. I can't help him because there's blood. If you care about somebody, you don't care about that.
Yes, I have seizures. If I get shut down, I'm gonna seize.
She was more worried about herself than the person she was calling 911 for. I think her actions speak volumes, and I don't have to say much more than that.
I just been kind of sick and, I don't want to be traumatized. I'm gagging. I got blood on myself, I can't do it.
I did not want to intervene with where all the blood was because I knew help was coming.
Shannon, can you tell him to try and put pressure on the back of his head? No, can't. It's like all bloody, and I'm not trying to do it. He's not with it. Pressure on this, okay?
The paramedics came. They made sure that he was being assisted. I just thought he was going to go to the hospital, get stitched up, come back. All was good.
She watched them load him into the back of the ambulance, waved goodbye, and went back into the house and put the garage door down.
Him. Clearly, I helped him. I called him at the hospital, and I was like, do you know anything? Like, what's going on? I was like, when are you coming home? And he's like, I have a really bad headache. I think I'm just gonna go to sleep. And I was like, I'll talk to you later. I love you. And he's like, I love you too. And that was the last thing he said to me. Next day, and they say he has an intracranial hemorrhage, taking him to dialysis, and he immediately went into cardiac arrest.
A friend sent me a text and said, hey, Garrett's in the hospital and it's critical, it's really bad. So I immediately sent some text messages to Shannon, and I was encouraging her to go to the hospital. And I said, it's really you be there.
So then my dad and I, we went together Thursday to go see him. He was on a ventilator.
Condition this morning at a hospital in Utah. His family
I really heard it on television. All I could do was take myself, call the sheriff's office in Salt Lake City and say, I hear my son is in hospital, it's critical. Would you send somebody over to speak with her and have her call me? She did not call me.
And called. And she was very distant, very short. The doctor says it doesn't look good at all. He's probably gonna die. He's a goner. He's done. He's done.
Broke me mentally. I spent the next 3 weeks bawling my guts out every day from sunup to sundown.
We were absolutely stumped because there were way too many questions. No answers. He was 4 feet 8 inches tall. He didn't have that far to fall in order to create such a significant injury. It just begs question after question after question.